What's going on, guys? It's Walker. We're back here again with another video, so let's get to it. So everyone is probably wondering why I have the hood off. So if we look right down in here, you can see we have a coolant leak there, as well as a coolant leak over there. Those are not the only two coolant leaks that are on this thing. Below those two, there are also a few lines that are leaking, as well as the auxiliary pump is leaking from there as well. So, what are you doing behind me?
You'll see in the video.
Oh my God. So to get better access to those down there, I'm gonna start off by taking this tire off and taking the wheel well out. I saw online where that gives you a little more room to get to this pump and the lines here. So I was also thinking about taking the fan out, but it looks like there's a lot going on there. So if I don't have to do that, I'm definitely not going to, but push comes to shove, I will take it out if I have to. So let's go ahead and get started. To get this wheel liner out, all you have to do is obviously take the tire off, and then there are going to be 8mm screws in this thing. There's probably about 8 or 10 total. So once you get all the screws out, it should come loose. Should come loose like that, and then it will just pull down. So let's go ahead and get this dropped down all the way and see how much room we have. Now that this cover is off, I looked in here, and unfortunately I don't think this area is going to help us get to anything at all. So my coolant lines that are leaking are going to be down, or over and then down. I'll raise the car up so you can see the other two that I was talking about that are leaking from the bottom. But yeah, unfortunately that does not give you any access, so no point in really taking that out unless you're servicing something here or the headlight area. So next step. Alrighty guys, so we're down here at the bottom now. As you can see, it is wet, and if we go up there, that hose is definitely leaking, as well as a leak coming from this pump, which is the top hose that runs to this pump. So those are the two locations that I was talking about from the bottom. And as you can see, there's really no more room down from the bottom to get to any of this stuff. So let's try to figure out a way to get to it. So me and Steven actually lowered this down and just started digging in and looking at it a little bit more. And what do you think we came up with?
I actually think he might be lucky and it's not a pump leaking. It looks like it's just the hose here on the side, the radiator hose. There's a sensor here and a plastic piece assembly here in between that the rubber connects to. Yeah, he can actually zoom in. So that right there looks like it's leaking, and that's wrapping down and dripping on top of the pump. So yeah, it actually looks like it's running its way all the way down, and like he said, not leaking from anywhere else. To confirm that, I'm going to spray all this off with a little bit of brake cleaner just so we can get kind of a clean surface, and then start it up and make sure that's actually where it's coming from before we start ordering a bunch of this stuff. So let's get it cleaned off and see exactly where it's coming from. So I decided to go ahead and take the front bumper off because I am going to go ahead and paint these while we have all this apart. So taking out all the clips, obviously a bunch of screws on the bottom, as long as the wheel wells where I showed last time. But this middle part is in there pretty good with tabs. So to get it out, you got to just give it a good shove, and then it will pop out of the hold. So now let's go ahead and lower this thing down and take the bumper off all the way. just my little tidbit. We were pulling from the top like we normally would on most of our bumpers that we pull, and from the side, and it still felt like it was held on here in the middle. So once we got it in the air, it's push clipped in, so it does feel like screws, but it's not. It just needs some good effort to pull that out. So yeah.
Before I take this all the way off, to get this front bumper off from the top, you do have to remove this big trim panel, which it is just a bunch of push clips that are along there. So once you take that off, there's two top bolts for the bumper itself, and then it should pull off. So have my wonderful cameraman hold that for a second. Uh-oh, I'm hung up. Stephen, will you unplug the lights? Will you unplug the lights? So there are 2 other connectors that you have to unplug for the sensors and stuff, but I guess I forgot the lights. 1.
And I'm not even unplugging them because I'm fighting them.
2. All right, so now we have the front bumper off, which I don't know where I'm gonna put this at. So now that we have the bumper all the way off, that does give us a little more room to everything as far as the coolant lines go. So I'm going to be unbolting this so I can pull the fan straight out. That way we have room to all those lines and everything. We don't have to worry about fighting and fitting our hands in there. And because as you can see, BMW definitely does not like to give you any sort of room whatsoever. So like I said, while I have this bumper off, I'm going to go ahead and take those out and get ready to paint those. So let's go ahead, pop those out, and move on. That wasn't too bad. We got both of those out, so let's go ahead and flip them over. As you can see, there's just a bunch of tabs that hold it in, so just depress each tab one by one and it pops out. So alrighty guys, so finally got the fan out of there. I will say that was a pain in the behind to get that out. As you can see, like I showed you earlier, there's absolutely no room whatsoever there. Well, with the fan out, I got room now, at least a little bit. But this and these coolant lines right here bolt to the front of it, so getting those off and pushed out enough to where you can get it up out of here is the main challenge. But looking at everything, so the coolant leak there, that is obviously one. Well, thankfully, now that I got room here, I think there's only one more up top right there, which I'll turn the flash on here in a second and show you. But I think that one is dripping down and getting onto the other hoses, making it look like they're leaking as well. So let me go ahead and turn the flash on so you guys can see that. So now we're gonna head on over to painting this grill. So with these little plastic tabs, I went ahead and just took it all apart and lightly sanded it down. I didn't go too crazy on the sanding. This one I did, but now that these are sanded and clean, let's go ahead and spray a coat of some paint. As far as paint goes, this is what we're going to be using. I do plan on using a clear as well, but all they had was gloss clear, and I'm not trying to go gloss on these. So after I spray this, we'll see what it looks like and see if I need to go get some matte clear, but let's go ahead and get started spraying. Here is the finished product on the grill. So as you can see, I didn't end up putting any clear on these, but with just the paint, it turned out really good. I mean, as you can see, there was a little imperfection in the chrome that caused that, but overall, I'd say they look pretty good. While I'm waiting on the 2 hoses to fix the coolant leak on the BMW, that is gonna go ahead and be it for this video. I'll go ahead and make this a diagnostic video, and then the next video you guys will see once I get those parts in, we'll be fixing it and getting the system bled and everything like that. So appreciate you guys for watching. Keep an eye out on next video to where we fix it, and I'll see you next time.